The list of things I've attempted and failed at in my life would be way too long to easily or quickly recount in just one little video vlogcast here. But I can explore one avenue of failure, and that was my attempt at trying to play in the stock market last year. Admittedly, and this is the perhaps the only thing I'll say to my credit, it was not a catastrophic failure. I didn't lose everything. I didn't go into some weird meme stonk or cryptocurrency that plummeted by 50, 80, 90% or anything. But it would qualify as a failure all the same. Like a lot of people, so I'm a naturally frugal person. It's not something I ever had to teach myself how to do. I'm just not very spendy. Just when I'm making basically any amount of money, I just tend to save a lot of it. I have very cheap, often even free hobbies, and I don't feel any need to eat out at restaurants and stuff that often. So yeah, basically just between those two factors, I tend to save a lot of money quickly. So I had a pretty big amount of, I think I had about $23,000 to deploy last year. And like a lot of other people, I got interested after the whole GameStop, the ultimate meme stonk explosion in January of last year. And I got Robinhood, and I started playing around with it. I didn't immediately move like $23,000 in and like go all in on anything. I started out, I started with like just $500, then gradually started moving in chunks of a little bit more, until eventually I had deployed everything I had. So my failure is especially humiliating because I didn't even fail in the traditional ways that you're supposed to fail at the stock market, which is trying to do day trading, swing trading, meme stonks, crypto. No, I thought I was being a fucking genius. I thought I was fucking Warren Buffett deploying. I put most of it, or maybe half of it at least, into basically the S&P 500. Then I mostly just played around with Microsoft, Google, Apple, Costco, Target. There's probably at least 3 or 4 others, just real basic bitch stuff. And for most of 2021, it looked like I was doing pretty damn good. Like, I was up a good, like, 3,000 or so at the peak of what I was investing, which, if you put in 300,000, going up 3,000 wouldn't be that big a deal. I mean, you made 1% back, but given what I had put in and the kind of, because like I said, I hadn't actually put in all 23,000 until sometime late in the summer of last year. Maybe even like June or July, I'd put in everything. So given that, the way things were going up at the speed they were, like, because what I'd always heard is like, if you go up 4 to 8% in a year at the stock market, you're doing great. And I was exceeding that, before I even put in everything, I was like up about 3,000. So what? I was up 13, 14% in a matter of months. And I was sitting there, I was like, I'm a genius. I've unlocked the mystery. Oh, and the funny thing is that the cliche is that most people, how they lose their money is trying to play the meme stonk game. And I'm the opposite of that. The probably the most successful play in terms of return on investment and the speed on that return that I ever made in my brief and failed stock market career was, I believe it was June 1st and June 2nd of last year, of 2021. June 1st, June 2nd, AMC was spiking astronomically very quickly, and I tossed in $1,000. I didn't sell anything else to put it in, I don't think. I think I just moved $1,000 over from my bank account to Robinhood, put it in, and I told myself if it hits 70, if AMC movie theater stonk hits 70, I'm gonna sell. And it just barely touched the edge of 70 on its way up. I sold. I think I made about 500 something in profit in about 30 hours of hitting, 2 buttons, the one to buy, one to sell. And I timed it perfectly. It immediately, I think literally that day and going all through the rest of the week, dove way, way, way back down. I can't remember where it dove to, the 30s, the 20s, but yeah, 70 was the selling point for a lot of people, and I was one of those. So that was an extremely successful meme stonk play. I made a quick 500, no sweat, easy peasy. So yeah, I'm Lots of people lose money trying to do the meme stonk day trading. I did quite well at it, but unfortunately, that was probably the pinnacle of my success. And man, I thought I was a genius around that point. Things have been going up. I was doing great. I made that quick buck from AMC. I was like, I'm a Wall Street asshole now. I'm a stock market fuckboy. I'm a genius. I have this. I probably don't ever need to work again. I can probably live off of this. Just making my brilliant meme stonk plays, investing so smartly. Just I'm good. I got this. I don't understand why people say making money is hard. Turns out it's real easy. You just got to play around in your Robinhood app and you're good to go for life. Then around September, I think it was, things started to dive. And like I said, I was pretty safely invested. S&P 500, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Costco, Target, a few other things and kind of that level of understood safeness. I think just as kind of like a gag, I put like a few $100 into Nintendo because I've always been a Nintendo lover. But yeah, I didn't really try to sell anything as things went down through September, and then in October things started going up again. I was making pretty good money. I mean, there would be the occasional red day, but mostly I would. There might be a day I look at things I lost $60, but that was mixing with tons of days where I'd look, made $100, made $50, made $180. I think there's one day I made $300 from my like safe, modest investment portfolio. And yeah, I was just on top of the world. I was like, this is awesome. This rules. I'm good. I'm good. I figured it all. I figured out life. I'm fucking Michael Douglas. I'm Gordon Gekko. I'm fucking Patrick Bateman ass Wall Street fucking white collar motherfucker. I got it all down. Then I think it was after like Thanksgiving of last year. It might have literally been on Thanksgiving. It might have been Thanksgiving Day. It was when they announced the Omicron variant, the Transformers variant that yeah, things started to take a dive. And I just kind of, I had should I sell? Because I'm losing money quick here. The hundreds are just peeling off of my account, of my portfolio, just at a pretty rapid pace here. I'm still nicely in the green, but I looked at, the subreddits, like the stock subreddit, and everyone's making fun of everyone who sells during a downturn. They're like, oh yeah, buy high, sell low. That's the way to do it, right? Dumbass, to anyone who's thinking about selling. So I was like, nah, it turns out the people who know their shit say don't sell. So I just hung on and watched my, in the green of, 3,000 some odd dip down into the 2,000s and down into the 1,000s and down into the hundreds. And I remember it was right somewhere around like New Year's Eve. It might have been like December 29th, December 30th. When I went down to total amount gained to the stock market, $0. Everything I had earned throughout the year, right around the edge of the new year, down to zero. Lost it all. And then I admit I did panic sell everything. I was like, this isn't good. And then I had the genius idea that I'm going to set automatic redeposits and everything. Like I think I was I set it to deposit like 500 a week in the S&P 500, then like 100 a week in the other kind of quote unquote safe stocks I mentioned. And the idea is, we had a nice dip going into the end of the year, but then things will go back up through 2022, right? And with this, things might dip a little more in January, February, but that's why I'm not going all in again right now. I'm gonna dollar cost average slowly into this, and gradually things will pick back up. And by the end of this year, I'll be back where I was and then some. I'm gonna make those thousands again. So I was putting in maybe like, what was it, $1,200 a week or something like that, with the idea that gradually I'd make the money back. And I held that for a while until I think sometime in March, and by then I was pretty close to fully deployed back in. Not all the way, maybe 8,000-9,000 still sitting on the sidelines in cash, but mostly I was back in, and every single thing, and I was very comfortably in the red in every stock. So I watched my, as you're watching your all-time gains at the stock market go down into the red. You're $50 in the red. You're thinking, oh, there's a new video game I could have got. You're 200 bucks in the red. You're like, oh, there's a game console I could have bought. You're 600, 700 bucks in the red. You're like, could have fixed up my whole car and got a new TV. You're 1,000 some odd in the red. You're thinking, well, there's a modest vacation I could have taken. I don't get to do that now. You fall down to 2,000 in the red. You're like, well, I could have got a new laptop and 10 visits to nice restaurants, and of course there's, you just think of it in terms of rent. There's 1 month's rent gone, there's 2 months rent gone, there's 3 months rent gone, there's 4 months rent gone, as you watch things fall farther and farther and farther into the red. So I think I made a couple of desperate plays. Then I panicked fully and tried to do some day trading that never worked out. I didn't do anything so stupid that I lost hundreds or thousands in a day or anything, but I think there were a couple times I'm like, okay, the opening seconds of this stock market day are green, so I'm gonna put $25,000 into QQQ or whatever, and when it goes up 2% today, then I'll sell it. And then instead it went down, 0.1%. Then I panicked and sold for $50 loss or whatever. I was like, well, fuck it. So the end of this story is very incredibly unsatisfying and anticlimactic. It's basically just that I sold everything in all the individual stocks I had invested up to that point, and I think I sold like half or 3/4 of what I had in the S&P 500, and ended up with what I had total in the stock market in my Robinhood app just being I think $2,000 or maybe $2,100 in S&P 500, and and that's what I've had since then. I don't really look at the numbers or the Robinhood app or what's going up or down or individual stocks anymore, because I'm just too depressed by my failure at it. I ended up somewhere around negative 2,000. I think what I had left in the S&P 500 is what my total in the red number was at that point. I think it was like 2,100. And then I told myself, okay, if I just leave this amount in the S&P 500 for 30 years, probably I'll recoup all my loss. So yeah, that's my attempt at playing the stock market. A total failure. I just watched everything fall and fall and fall in January, July, March, April, May, and it was very upsetting. I totally blew it. I blew a big lead because I was doing really nicely for a while in 2021, 2022. Then the tail into 2021, going into 2022 was a disaster, and I failed and lost everything and then some. Now, I guess if I was to put the silver lining on this, and it is admittedly something of a silver lining, I looked at the various stock market, subreddits and chat forums and whatnot, and see tons and tons of people out there lost $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000, lost their life savings. People are down 70%, people are down 90%, So the fact that I ended up down around 7-8% on my initial investment is it's not the end of the world. I more than recouped the 2,100 or whatever I ended up down, at work, fairly quickly. So I do still have, more total money than I had probably even when I was at the zenith of my stock market gains. But it is still depressing, and I spend a lot of time saying to myself, why didn't I just sell when I was at the top and call that good? And eventually, now I understand why finance is considered a cutthroat and competitive and difficult field, because I thought I was IQ maxed enough to play at it. It turns out I was not, and I am not. But that said, I look at news and it says there might still be further dips, further recession going into next year. So I think I'm just gonna sit on what I have invested in the S&P 500 right now for like a year at least, and maybe in the future, towards the second half of 2023 or going in through the rest of the 2020s, I'll eventually, I think I'm probably done permanently trying to play individual stocks. I clearly do not have the knack for it. I clearly do not have the aptitude to do that and make money. think it's going to be S&P 500 for me from here on out. I'll probably eventually set some sort of weekly or monthly deposit of an amount to go back in there eventually. I'm not in a hurry to do it because ultimately I look back on my stock market experience with a great deal of negativity because it was the flush of success followed by immediate failure. It was like you're in high school, you get the most beautiful girlfriend in the school, and then she dumps you like a week later. That's what it was like for me trying to play the stock market. So yeah, learn from my failure and I guess try not to repeat my mistakes.